All right. Name of narrator is Jon Blackman. Name of interviewer is Carly Elijah. Date, time, and location is Wednesday, October 25th at 10:30 a.m. at the Ruth Patrick Science and Education Center. And my interview assistant is Madison Carlock. All right. So thank you for coming with me today, Mr. Blackman. If we can, let's start off at the beginning. So when and where were you born?
I was born in Columbus, Ohio, but I moved down early 90s to Augusta, Georgia. So I lived most of my life there, yeah.
Gotcha. And that was your parents' decision?
Yes, parents' decision.
Okay.
Job opportunities.
All right. And so like you said, do you know much about your hometown? How long did you live up there?
I didn't live up there that long. Until I was 5 years old.
Okay.
Then I moved down to Augusta, Georgia, yeah.
And how did you think of Augusta as a place to grow up?
It's nice. It's kind of similar to Aiken. It's growing extremely fast, like Evans is in Grovetown, but it's a nice area.
That's good. Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
My dad was he sold shoes for Nine West,
Okay.
and my mom works for Wackenhut currently still. My sister, she has 2 kids, and she actually graduated from here. This is the reason I came here to go to college after the Navy. But yeah, they're all working and usual, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of activities were you involved in high school?
I was on the golf team throughout high school, all 4 years, and I tried the chess team. I did the video editing program for the high school also throughout the 4 years, similar to what we're doing
Yes.
now.
And you enjoyed that?
It was fun, yeah. It was
That's
pretty
good.
cool.
What would you say was your favorite?
Favorite golf? Yeah,
Golf.
of course. That's my passion, so I still do it when I get a chance, but obviously the older you get, the more responsibility you get. So.
I understand that. And did you go to college or work after graduation?
I did. I worked while I was in college. I went to Augusta State for 2 years, and I still didn't know what I wanted to major in. And so my parents, they talked to me about well, maybe you want to try out the military route. And so I talked to some recruiters and then talked to a Navy recruiter, and I weighed all my options, and I decided to join the United States Navy.
So did you have any sort of inkling before the suggestion, maybe considering it, thinking about those options?
I did. The main reason I picked the Navy was because my grandpa was in the Navy back during World War II. But other than that, I was weighing my options between not having a clue where I was going in my direction in my life. So I decided to maybe I'll step it up and throw a little wrench into the whole process.
Yeah. And did you consider that process a hard decision to make, or did it sort of seem like the right thing to do?
It felt like the right thing to do.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. And then how old were you when you enlisted in the Navy?
I was 23, 24.
Okay.
Around that age.
And you told me why you decided to enlist. So you said that your parents were sort of an integral part of this decision?
They were very supporting. My whole family was, and they just wanted to make sure that I guess I was making the right decision, and at this point in time, I guess. And I told them, I was like, well, this is how I feel, where I'm at in my life, and they said, well, if that's what you want to do, then we'll definitely support whatever you decide to do. So.
And did you see support from your friends and maybe your sister?
Oh yes, definitely. We threw a little to-go party and everything, and did cookout and stuff. And then on my last day, and then the next day, I got shipped out.
Okay.
So.
And how would you describe BASIC? Because you went to the Great Lakes Naval Station, correct?
Yes.
And how would you describe that, your first day?
First day, you're up for first 36, 48 hours almost, just being processed. I mean, take a flight and then take the bus to there, so it's pretty interesting, kind of like going into the abyss. You have no clue what you're going into, and then you stand in line. It's a whole breakdown from civilian life to military life.
And did you
from that day forward.
Did you consider that transition hard for you?
It was not too hard for me because I was already I guess a little bit more mature than most of the guys there and girls. I guess it was just I could comply with whatever they were asking. I wasn't you tell me to do something, I do it. I'm not trying to overthink it or do it. I just do what they say. But if you don't, then they're pretty much gonna lay into you and give you stuff.
Yeah. So what was your drill instructor like?
I had 3 of them. There's 2 females and a male. They're called RDCs, and they lay into you pretty quick and pretty fast. I mean, it's literally the first hour into it, you start getting a bunch of slurs and cuss words and stuff. But
Did you have a favorite or a least favorite?
I did not like the females. They were the worst, to be honest. they had like a vendetta for us guys or something. It was pretty bad, but.
But do you still think that they helped you?
Oh yeah, of course. Like that's the whole thing about it. Like I tell my friends and everybody like what they do is like when you first get there, you're a piece of shit, and then they break you down and they make you this bring you back up, and then now you're just this golden piece of shit. No, that's pretty much
All right.
what we said.
And how do you think basic changed you?
Oh, it changed me a lot. A lot of things I'll take from it, like from folding my clothes to being. I mean, I show up on time instead of 15 minutes early. I'm kind of like I goof off a little bit now, I guess, but I kind of like I like to shave, like all that stuff. Like there's a lot of things, haircut and stuff. I like to keep certain things, I guess, still, but.
Yes. And where did you go from basic afterwards?
From basic, I was shipped out to Groton, Connecticut, to the Submarine Basic Academy. I stayed there for at least 6 months to almost a year or something like that, and there's a bunch of different, I guess, courses and things I had to do. Just you learn the history to background to everything that you need to know about the submarine life and what you're getting into. So.
Yes. And you served in Connecticut, Georgia, and Washington State.
Yes. So
Okay.
I went to Groton, Connecticut for like 6 months to a year, and then I went to Kings Bay, Georgia, where I did my advanced training for missile technician. It's like advanced electronics. A lot of electronics, I guess, from the theory and things around that. In case like things go wrong, you always have to have a plan A, plan B, plan C. And then I stayed there for a while. I'd say almost a year, and then after that, my final duty station was Bangor, Washington.
Okay. So missile technician. What was the decision behind that?
Well, when you go to Fort Jackson, which is I guess where you go to figure out what rate you're going to be your job, and they give you your options depending on how good or bad your ASVAB score was. So I did fairly well. I got like an 89 on mine out of 100, and I was just like a few points off of going into the nuclear program. But they said the closest thing we had as a missile technician, and then what was available, because what the service gives to you is these are what we need right now. So you can either wait months or a year till you can get what you want, or you can go now. And I was like, I really don't want to waste any more time. And if that's my best option, which it was either that or a CS, which is a cook. And I was like, I'm not going to be a cook for like the next 4 years of my life.
I understand that. And so your unit, what kind of activities were they involved in?
Pretty much, I mean, the whole thing you see on the movies, marching, and like we do a bunch of like community service, from shoveling highways when it snows like 3 or 4 feet to, I mean, when you get your liberty time, you pretty much just want to sleep. Like it's not even close to like want to go out to bars or go to the mall or something. Like you just want to go to bed. Like you're so exhausted.
And do you consider yourself someone who enjoyed stuff like that, the community service, the sort of, if you say, the menial tasks of the unit?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. Like it felt like, we were doing something good. And I mean, anytime you could help somebody in need or even the community, like it's always a good feeling. So.
All right. And how long were you with your unit?
Well, with us they call it division, but like I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I was it always changes. It like whenever I was in Groton, Connecticut, it was a different batch of guys. So like we're all figuring out. Some are gonna go fast attacks, some are gonna go the boomers, and some are gonna go in the hybrids, which was like in between. Like the fast attacks are like the smaller subs, like where they go under like enemy lines and stuff. We were on boomers, so we had like nuclear missiles on us at all times. But like we all got like really close, and still are close now on Facebook. But we all were trying to figure out like we had no clue where we're gonna go. Depending on how you do good in school, like if you don't do that good, you have no choice where you want to go. But if you do really well, they give you choices, and you can pick where you want to go in the United States or around the world. So.
All right. And what was that like for you, being someone who grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and then all of a sudden you're in the submarine that has nuclear missiles on it in the military?
It was always catch-up mode, trying to just go with the flow, and then eventually over time you'll understand or you'll realize, like, oh my god, I'm sleeping right next to a nuclear missile. But like you never know exactly where you're at, how many are on board, all that stuff. I mean, of course it's dangerous, but like as long as you do what you're supposed to be doing, at all times, and you're very knowledgeable and you keep ahead of the game, it'd be fine. So.
Okay. And when and why did you decide to leave the military?
I actually, the first in boot camp, they do like a lot of like I guess preparation for once you get out of boot camp. Like they open you a checking account, they ask if you want to do the post 9/11 or Montgomery GI Bill. So I did that, and I was like, well, I've already got 2 years of college, so I decided, once I get done, I just want to go to college. They're going to help me out with my college. So I was like, shoot, I'll just go to school for free, which would be awesome.
Okay, and when was this?
When I had to make that decision?
Yes.
That was around like June, July when I first got in there.
Okay.
So it was around there. It's like right when you get there.
Yeah. So what's the first thing you did after you were officially out of the Navy?
I probably drove around a little bit and had no clue what to do. Like, it's kind of like, you're like, what do I do with my hands? Like, you're just like, you're so confused because you go from one lifestyle to another, and it's just trying to figure out, like, I'm used to getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the sub and working all day, and now I'm like, I'm free. I don't know what to do.
And how would you consider this transition? Do you find it difficult?
Once you get towards the end of your I guess your 4 years or 6 years, whatever you decide to do, like they put you through a course, which is a month-long course of like transitioning from military life to civilian life. And so it's like, I'd say the first 2 years was difficult, like just trying to figure out what I can't do, or what, like, you're still used to like having to be home at a certain time or getting up at a certain time or doing this, shave, dress, do all this. So it's kind of like, it's all new, like it's like a whole new world, and it sounds easy, but it's like difficult, I guess, adjusting to it.
I understand. And when did you return to college, and why did you enroll?
I got out in March, and then the first thing I did is I came home. I spent a few months with family and stuff and friends, and then I immediately enrolled that August here, because that's when my sister told me she was graduating the next year. And so I was like, okay. So I enrolled that August and just started there, and now here I am. I'm graduating this May. So.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So did you have any knowledge about USC Aiken before you applied here, besides what your sister told you about it?
I did not. She just told me it was like in that perfect, like, not too small but not too large of a school where you can actually be interpersonal with your professors and everybody, and like everybody kind of knows each other. So I was like, I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah. What are you majoring in right now?
I'm majoring in marketing is my, I guess, what I'm doing, but in like business, I guess, was it business science or Bachelor of Business Science.
And what made you choose this?
I've always liked business, so I was like, when I first got here, I thought I was going to do exercise sports science, but then I decided, I was like, no, I can't do anatomy, that's not my thing. So I decided, I was like, I like people, like I like talking with people and hanging out, always being around people, talking about anything, if it's business, fun, I don't know, food, it doesn't matter. So like, I just like doing that stuff.
And what do you want to do with this degree?
With this degree, my dream job's in Oregon, working for Nike at their headquarters, but like anywhere from working with American Airlines, which I did for a little while, I could go back into that in Charlotte, or any jobs that maybe possibly UCA can help me out with for in the next year.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I would like to, hopefully, I'm getting kind of old, so I'd like to settle down and find somebody, possibly married or get a great job, and pretty much the normal life. So, yeah.
All right. And is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
With the military, I would say